First of all, thank you for the invitation to give this presentation. I think it's a challenge for you at the end of this conference to have a presentation on legal. But I'm trying to, well, we selected an item that is relevant for fashion, and that is, I hope, not too challenging for this time of the day, because it's about sustainability claims. First of all, let me give a short introduction of myself and about the presentation I'm going to deliver. My name is Jos van der Wijst. I'm an IP lawyer, intellectual property law in Eindhoven and Den Bosch. That means copyright, trademarks, patents, but also advertisement law. And that includes sustainability claims, which is the topic of this presentation. I will also, at the end of my presentation, give some remarks about new technologies like AI and blockchain, because I think they can contribute to sustainability and information about sustainability. But first of all, what are sustainability claims, and why are we seeing sustainability claims? Well, first of all, there is no legal definition of a sustainability claim. The only thing we have is something from a guidance from the European Commission, and I have put the definition on the slide. Sustainability claims are expressions which can be environmental claims, green claims, ethical claims that refer to the practice of suggesting or otherwise creating the impression in the context of a commercial communication, marketing or advertising, or for instance, the name of a company, green, that a product or a service is environmentally friendly. So it has to have a positive impact on the environment, or is less damaging for the environment than competing goods or services. So a few elements in this definition, but the most important is that it is a communication to the customer, indicating that the product or the services have a good effect on the environment, or less polluting, less damaging than competing products. So on the one hand, it says something about the product or the services. On the other hand, it can say something about your competitors. You relate yourself to competitors. Two examples. On the left, you see a text: "This piece of clothing is organic." But it states something about the quality of the product. But is this allowed or not? Is it misleading? Is it miscommunication? What you need to know is that organic is defined by law, and you can only use the term organic when the fabric has more than, or at least 95% organic. So whether the claim is correct or not correct depends on whether the product has more than 95% organic material. On the right, another example. Our sneakers contain 20% more recycled materials than, in comparison with what? What we see here is, well, we work on the field where technology, innovation, R&D meets marketing and meets legal. Marketing wants to give the best impression of the company or of the product or the services, and technology has to give input on what marketing can claim, and from the legal point, we are concerned with liability issues. Is it true? What can be the consequence of false claims? The term greenwashing has already been mentioned. We see in fashion that greenwashing is used, and we also see in some research that often it is not correct, and we see more and more research that sees that it is not correct what is being claimed. So it gets more and more attention. And also in fashion. And I also showed already showed other examples, but this is a very, very recent example in Germany where Hunkemöller gets a claim for misleading claims, misleading sustainability claims from consumer organizations, and so it gets more and more important, more and more actual, more and more work for lawyers, and therefore it gets more and more attention also from the legal point of view. So we see a lot of examples already in fashion, but what we also see is the Dutch Authority for Consumers and Markets, the ACM, has chosen the fashion sector as one of the sectors they are focusing on. So they are looking into the sector and looking into the claims, also the sustainability claims that are being made, and they made it one of the top priorities for their work for the coming years. So it gets more and more attention. And what does it mean? It means that the authority made some guidelines for sustainability claims. And from a legal point of view, we are interested in what is the legal status of guidelines. So that's what I'm going to talk a little bit more. But first of all, the current EU legislation. What is the law at the moment? Well, there is no law on sustainability claims. There is legislation about unfair business-to-consumer commercial practices from the European Directive, and there is another European Directive about misleading advertising and comparative advertising. These are directives. This means that a directive has to be implemented in national law. So this has been implemented in the Dutch Civil Code, as in other civil codes from other countries. But because it's a directive, on some points the European legislator gives member states room for deviation. So sometimes there's a choice. There's a minimum set of rules, but a member state can go further. So that means that there can be differences in European countries about how these directives have been implemented in national legislation. And that can mean that there is some differences. European Commission has given some guidelines for environmental claims. So that's also a source to look into how to interpret, how to explain this kind of legislation. So we've seen guidelines from the European Commission. We've seen guidelines from the Dutch ACM, as in other countries there are also guidelines from that kind of authorities. So that doesn't make it very clear for the ones who are using or making sustainability claims. And there's more legislation to come. The Green Deal includes also new legislation on the issue of sustainability claims. And but there is a red line. There's some it makes it more clear. One of the most important aspects of all this legislation to come and all, which is already in the guidelines, is that it is not allowed to make vague environmental claims. So you have to make clear, and you have to offer proof of what you claim. Clear information. I will elaborate on this based on the ACM guidelines, because I think that is a very well-readable document. It has 5 issues. The first one is the advice to make clear what sustainability benefits the products offer. Make it clear. Not vague, make it clear. Further, when you make sustainability claims, you have to substantiate them with facts. So you have to be able to prove what you state, and you have to keep them up to date. So once you make a claim, you have to keep them up to date during the life cycle of the claim. When you make comparison with other products or other services or other companies, it must be fair, and that's a bit vague. It has to be fair, and this kind of vague rules have led to court cases, and they give more interpretation on how to interpret this. Further, you must be honest and specific about your company's effort with regard to sustainability. When you claim my company is going to be the most sustainable company on earth, that might be that can be a prediction or the way you would like to go to, but you can only make such a claim when in practice you have taken the steps to make that honest. So you have to be honest about what you claim about the company. Make sure that visual claims or labels are useful to consumers and not confusing. We see a lot of reference to rewards or prices or codes or codes of conduct. When you make them, they cannot be confusing for customers. I'm the greenest company. My products are from 100%. If you make claims, you have to prove that are correct, and they cannot be confusing for customers. As I mentioned, I'm also going to say something about 2 new, or rather new technologies that can help sustainability claims. For instance, AI, artificial intelligence. And what are the potential benefits of AI? First of all, AI can predict trends to reduce waste. AI can also help customers to shop used clothes. AI speeds up 3D modeling, and AI ensures sustainability claims. So we saw that from the guidelines from the ACM, when you make a sustainability claim, you have to be able to prove your claim. Well, AI can help you in that. Two pictures I put on the slide. The left one, that's from a startup company I know, Wijst. They have an AI product. You can make a scan of your body, and in a shop you can select a trouser or whatever, and they show it fit on your body. So when it's too short or when it is not fitting perfectly, you can see it on your screen. So AI is helping you to fit your clothes. You don't have to fit them physically, but you can fit them on a screen using AI. A tool that can help choose only the product that fit and reduce the returning of products bought in the web shop. AI. The other one is blockchain. As I mentioned, sustainability claims, you have to be able to prove that they're correct. There are some examples already to use blockchain to trace the products. So again, that can help in giving the customer the confidence that the claim is correct. Yeah, some companies already use this kind of blockchain techniques. That was my presentation.